Hello, everybody. It's RM here, and welcome to Sunday Brunch. I am your host, RM of Positive Fandom and the Burnettwork, guys. Russ will be a little late today. I'm assuming it's because it's the day after coronation. Who knows? And guys, it's so great to see you here. Good morning to everybody. So excited to see everybody. Tom Jr. Jackson. Good morning to you, Tom. Hope you are well. Tom says good morning and hello. Please click the like and subscribe buttons. Absolutely. Hello, Dino. Dinosaur says good morning, afternoon, RM, Russ, and Tom. Well, good morning to you, Dino Dinosaur. So glad that you're here today. Mario Lopez. Hello, Mario Lopez. How are you this morning? Hope you are well. Hope you had a great Saturday. Hope you had a great week. It's so good to see you here. Really what I consider coronation weekend, but certainly wonderful to see you regardless. Retro Nerd Girl is here. Hello, Retro Nerd Girl says, good morning, everybody. Well, good morning to you, Retro Nerd Girl. I hope you guys are checking out Retro Nerd Girl's live streams and her watch parties. She had a great one yesterday. Guys, make sure you do check out Retro Nerd Girl's channel. Darth Plato is here. Hello, Darth Plato. How are you today? Hope you are well. Hope everybody is well. Oh, you are tired, Darth Plato. Did you stay up? Did you stay up all night? Um, I know some of you have been out. Excuse me. Yes, I am breaking out the jewelry. I have my tiara on. I wore my tiara on Friday night. I wore it Saturday morning, and I have it on again today. I just felt like it needed to have. This is actually, as I said, this one is my mother's tiara. um the one I bought for myself, it's too tight, it hurts, so I can't wear it. But it is coronation weekend. It's been such an exciting weekend. I have to lower just a little bit. It's been such an exciting weekend. I've been enjoying. Thank you so much, Tom Jr. Jackson. Thank you so much for that. You guys know I love anything that has to do with the royal family. So yesterday was a huge celebration for me. Good morning to you, Joe Dyson. Good morning. Hope you are well, guys. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay, guys. Thalia is here. Hello and happy Sunday to all. Well, happy Sunday to you, Thalia. It's so great to see you here in the morning as well. Mikey Lito. Hey, Mikey Lito. Mikey Lito says, good morning, everyone. Hello, well, hello to you, Mikey Lito. Always a pleasure to see you. Hope you are well, and it's a wonderful Sunday, especially when I'm not coughing. Sorry, just such a wonderful Sunday to be here with you guys. Stubble is here. Stubble McShave is here. Stubble says, hi, gang. Well, hello, Stubble. Hope you are well, Stubble. Hope you had a great week. Hope you're doing well. So glad that you're here. Jamin D is also here. Hey, Jamin D, so good to see you. It's just so wonderful to see all of you this Sunday. It's so great. What a wonderful Sunday morning. And Tom Jr. Jackson, thank you, Tom, for putting that there. Says, check out Retro Nerd Girls channel, guys. Make sure you do like and subscribe to Retro Nerd Girls channel. And she had some fantastic watch parties just last night. So, guys, make sure you check that out, please. Hey, Marco Lani is here. Hey, Marco, how are you? Marco says, still rocking that tiara. Well, you know something? I don't get a chance to wear my tiara all the time. And as I said, remember, guys, the tiara is from Walmart. So anyone can have a tiara these days. Why not you? So there is that. But yes, I still am rocking that tiara. Guys, I will rock you like a tiara any day of the week. But it seemed appropriate for coronation weekend. And I'm guessing all the tiaras are already put away in the vault. The crown jewels are put away. No one's wearing any heavy jewelry for today. Although today, guys, just so you know, there is a coronation concert. I think it is televised in the US, but it's probably on a delay. The concert's probably taking place right now, for all I know. But there is a coronation concert. It is featuring Katy Perry, guys. And in case you were wondering about Katy Perry's look, Katy Perry was wearing Vivienne Westwood, along with a Vivienne Westwood necklace, which I think you can get something very similar on Amazon for less money if you wanted to go that way. So just keep that in mind. Jamin D says, hope your Hogwarts Legacy experience is going great. Well, Jamin D, I did 60 streams, 60 streams, and over 100 hours of streaming Hogwarts Legacy. Over 100 hours on my channel. And it was wonderful. And I stopped streaming Hogwarts Legacy only because uh, Star Wars Jedi Survivor came out on April 28th. So that's the game that I've been streaming every day, I guess pretty much for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. So, Jamin, if you go to my channel, you'll notice that I have about 10 streams of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a fantastic game. We've been waiting for this game since Jedi Fallen Order, and I am enjoying it. So, Jamin, when you get a free chance, go ahead and check out right here on Positive Fandom, Star Wars Jedi Survivor live streams, which is what I'm currently on. Now, I should also mention to you guys that on the 23rd of May of this month, I'm going to be playing Star Trek Resurgence. That's right. It's a new Star Trek game that's coming out on May 23rd. Let's hope it actually comes out on that day because they've had to push the game back a few times. So I'm going to be playing Star Trek Resurgence. I'm going to be streaming it on my channel and on the Burnettwork at the same time. So it's going to be streaming on 2 channels, but you guys will be able to see some Star Trek play on the Burnettwork because I felt it made sense. And I'll probably still try to do Jedi Survivor, although it will be challenging. It's going to be very challenging to stream 2 games at the same time, but I will see how I do. Stubble, you go ahead and you clean your house for a while. You go ahead and take care of your personal business. Now, Mikey Lito has his YouTube channel as well. Oh, guess who is here with us? Looks like Russ is here. Hello, Russ. How are you today? Can't hear you.
Patriotic, how are you?
I am very well. I still have my tiara on, Russ. I went to sleep. I would like to say I went to sleep with it on. This one is my mother's tiara. Of course, yesterday, Russ. First of all, it is such a pleasure to see you as always.
Thanks.
And
Same to you.
After saying hello to everybody, absolutely, guys. Dino Dinosaurs' tiaras were banned by the king. To be honest with you guys, I just wanted to say that yesterday was such a wonderful day. Russ, I enjoyed the coronation so much. It was just such a spectacular event. I'm just so glad that I was able to even watch it from here in the US live pretty much. I mean, Russ, what an amazing day yesterday was. What did you think of the coronation?
Honestly, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I've always approached these things with a bit of a sense of duty, you know, the funerals and the, you know, silver jubilees and diamond jubilees and so on and so on. But this was something else, man. I've never seen anything like it in my life. None of us really have. You know, you have to be pretty old to remember Her Majesty the Queen getting her coronation back in 1953 or 52. You know, and I've never seen. You know, it's like he's the King of England. I mean, it's like it's a big deal for us. One of the things that really shocked me actually was the lack of representation from the United States. Like, this is the King of England. Where's the fucking president? Like, how dare he not show up? Like, this is our closest ally. So I looked it up. Why isn't Joe Biden at the coronation? Apparently, it's a thing. Because since the revolution, or, you know, insurgent rebellion, no, I'm joking. Since the revolution, the president of the United States doesn't attend coronations because the whole country sort of set up as, like, you know, we don't have kings, a bit like the Romans. So that's why the Joe Biden wasn't there. So actually, it was a pretty big deal that his missus was there. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, no, it was really good, and all the flags are still up, and there's street parties happening everywhere today, which is really nice. I had to go to my stepfather's, unfortunately, this morning. Yeah, so but yeah, it's pretty festive here, and actually people have embraced it with very little cynicism. There's been a few Republican protests around, but the police made it quite clear that they had little tolerance for bullshit on this day. You know, like, because it's not just that they're anti-protest or anything like that. It's really, you know, the security around these things are so tight. You can imagine you've got a whole bunch of people that aren't copacetic with the situation. It's easy for someone to infiltrate. All sorts of bad things could happen. So they were saying, like, yeah, you have your protest, but anybody steps out of line, we're coming in hard. And there was no trouble. It was just a great day.
Yeah, I love hearing that. And I also think it's very interesting that, just to be honest with you, let's say I'm not the president, but if I were the president, I would break that rule.
Mhm.
I totally would have broken that rule and showed up. Maybe the president will show up for the after party. Who knows? But Hunter Biden's wife was there with her daughter, and they both looked wonderful. Hunter Biden's wife, sorry, not Hunter Biden. Joe Biden's wife was there with her daughter, and I also thought he stayed away because of the stuff going on with Hunter Biden. That's why Hunter Biden was on my mind. I don't think he wanted to have any questions about what was going on with his son. So it was great to see the first lady there. And as I said, if I were the president, I would have broken that rule. I would have been there. You would have seen me. Maybe I would have worn a tiara. Who knows? Maybe I would have worn this Walmart tiara. I don't know.
Mm.
But I would have been there, Russ. Wild horses couldn't keep me away. It was really beautiful. I thought it was amazing, Russ. I was really impressed with how many people from charitable organizations got a ticket to attend the coronation, Russ.
Well, that's because you probably don't know about it. You may have heard of it. I'm not speaking out of turn. You may know about this, but there's a big thing here called the Prince's Trust, which was set up by the Prince of Wales, like in his youth, 1,000 years ago, whenever it was, and that does a lot of good work helping kids and helping organizations, things like that. So it was always going to be. He's been very, very hands on with that. So a bit like Diana, to be fair. But the Prince's Trust has been a sort of institution for many, many years, which is why you saw so many representatives of so many diverse organizations that were there.
Yeah, well, it was very impressive, Russ, because I think it's also good for the organizations too. You're talking about people who work for charitable organizations. They're not in it to make money, they're in it to serve the community. And,
Yes.
by being present at the coronation, it also brings attention to their causes, which I think is incredibly important. But yeah, it was a beautiful ceremony. I like how Charles and Camilla, now king and queen, have come a long way and are quite settled in. And one thing that I had mentioned yesterday, Russ, was how much of a presence we saw of the mature crowd of people. We don't get to see as many mature people as we saw yesterday, especially during the ceremony. Russ, I don't think there was anybody under the age of 40. Am I right?
I think you're right. I think young people don't give a shit about this sort of thing. I can give you a snapshot example of my life. My toilet got blocked yesterday, so I had to call an engineer. Young guy turned up, must have been in his 20s, tattoos all over his face, and I turned around to him and said, "Oh, shame, man. You're working. You're missing the coronation." I don't give a fuck about that sort of thing, mate. What's the problem? Like he was quite jovial about it. As it turned out, the toilet ended up fixing itself. I said to him, I said, I can't believe this. Like it was literally over. Everything nasty was overflowing, and like I tried to flush it, make it a little bit cleaner for you. He said, well, sometimes the pressure, just sorts itself out. And I said to him, mate, I'm not lonely. It's not like I'm calling out repairmen just to keep me company, which he thought was quite funny. But yeah, so disaster averted. But what's my point? My point is, my daughter actually watched it. I'm a bit proud of Sam. And then I said, "You watching the thing, Sam?" And she said, "Oh yeah, no, I've got it on in the background. Like, I'm definitely going to watch it, like, because it's an important thing to watch." But most kids, I don't think, give a shit, to be honest with you. Bit of pomp and circumstance for the old people. That's absolutely fine. I did want to say hello to Big Joe, who I saw saying hello to me. Um, there he is, Big Joe. I also wanted to say a big hello and a big thank you to my crush in the room, Retro Nerd Girl, who I dropped into her show the other day, like completely at random. Like I was just I saw it up and I saw, oh, okay, Retro's on. I'm gonna tune into that, and I tuned into that, and she was diving into one of my favorite topics, which was all about the Snyderverse, and I exchanged a few words with a regular fans and a regular collaborator. So that was really, really good fun. So I just wanted to say thanks for, such a warm welcome, Retro. And I had real good time, chatting with the boys, and I really, really enjoyed it. So thank you, Retro Nerd Girl.
And guys, please do check out Retro Nerd Girls channel. The link is here in the chat. Make sure you do check that out, everybody. I also want to say hello to Nathan Trujillo. Hello, Nathan says hello, Artem and Russ. How is everything doing? Nathan, we are well. I hope you are well too. Yes, and so Keely Chow is also here.
There
Hello,
she
Keely
is.
Chow. How are you? Roll Tide, Keely Chow. Hope you are doing great
What
today.
is the origin of Roll Tide?
It's college football.
I see.
Yeah, it's college football. It's a one of the cheers that you give for that team.
Hmm.
I can't remember the team. It,
I see. Right,
Keely,
but this is Keely's team. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
Keely,
gotcha.
what team is it again? Is it? Please let us know in the chat. Roll Tide. I can't remember just now which team it is, but certainly that is what that is from. We also have Stavros. Hello,
Hi,
Stavros.
Stavros.
How are you? So good to see you here this morning. Thalia says Prince Charles was ahead of his time in many ways and was unfortunately often mocked. Yes, Thalia, he was.
You know,
Uh,
it's interesting because he stepped as soon as his mum died, he just said, "That's it. I'm not commenting on that shit anymore." Because of course he's a big environmentalist. He's big into architecture. He's big into green cities and all that sort of thing. But as soon as he became king, because the constitutional monarch isn't really supposed to be involved in politics at all. That's up to the prime minister and the opposition, right? And it's like such a thing. Like he literally turned around and said, "No, that's it. I'm done. I've got my opinions, and people know my opinions." I'm paraphrasing. I'm not the king, obviously, but I've got my opinions. You know my opinions, but that part of my life's now over. Now I'm the king of England, and drew a line under it. So yeah, Charlie is absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, there was they kind of mocked Charles for talking about recycling glass, and
Mm.
people were like, "What are you talking about? Why would you do that?" I mean, turning in bottles to refill is one thing, but recycling glass—that sounds crazy, you know. And of course, it's something we do all the time. But even glass, makers do that, glazers. But it is very interesting to mention that. Stavros says it's Princess RM today. Yes, you were right, Stavros. How did you know? I've been keeping my princess status under wraps. I never claimed my title, but it is there. Thank you, Stavros, for acknowledging that. And Stubble says, our king and crown princess attended. Yes,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I did see that a lot of royalty, European royalty, and royalty from all over the world were present yesterday. Yeah. Oh, Latoya T is here. Latoya T, hi. So good to see you here this morning. Thank you for stopping by. Sunday Brunch says, I chimed into that live. Also, it was great at Retro Nerd Girl. Latoya T, so great to see you here.
Yeah, lovely to see you. I didn't see you on the stream though, Latoya. I would have said hello, but I was kind of drifting in and out. I was getting into a big debate over over the future because like some of the guys on Retro's channel, they were like they're hardcore. Like it's gonna happen, and I'm a bit more ambiguous about it. You know, I'd love for it to happen, but I don't think it will. At least not in the format that the hardcore Snyder fans want. You know, I think our best hope is an animation, but you know, just I'm not going to turn this stream into a Snyderverse stream, but somebody said something on one of the streams that I was watching, and he had a point, and he said, "Look, you know, right now, no, it's probably going to be a comic or an animation. That's today." But Warner Brothers are they're in trouble. You know, there's no getting away from the fact that they've got money trouble. Like HBO made $50 million, but they lost like $1 billion in the last quarter. So they're sort of trumpeting the success of HBO Max. Going, well, we made 50 million. Yeah, but you also lost 1.5 billion. Okay, so it's not looking so healthy. What's my point? My point is it's been sold so many times over the past five years. Tomorrow, Zaslav go, fuck this DC Comics nonsense. Actually, it's a hide into nothing. The films aren't making that. I'm selling DC. Then it all changes again. So we just don't know. But it was, yeah, I really enjoyed that stream.
Absolutely. And you're right, Russ. Anyway, the wind blows, it can all change
Hmm.
tomorrow, as I like to say. And Stavros says, hello, and says, Tom Jr. Jackson just finished your first live stream the other day. Pretty chill. Yes. And Tom, please make sure you put your YouTube channel link in the chat. Tom Jr. Jackson did his first live stream this past week. It was fantastic. Guys, do check out Tom's channel. Tom has over 80 reviews on his channel, guys. So go ahead and check that out on Tom's YouTube channel. Now, Keely Chow does say roll Tide. It's the Alabama Crimson Tide.
There you go. Bama.
Thank you so much, Keely Chow. Yes, it is the Alabama Crimson Tide football team, but it's also the name, I think, for their basketball and baseball maybe as well. But I believe this is 100% college football, and it is so great to see college football fans out there here in the stream. Also, thank you. Oh, what is this? Oh, Latoya's website, guys. Latoya T has her Cocoa Tulip line. It is a wonderful fashion line. You need to check it out. Mother's Day is right around the corner. So do please check out Cocoa Tulip's website for incredible fashions. You guys don't want to miss it. Yes, Russ is here, guys. King Russ.
How
And
do I get done for treason? Hold on. Careful.
And Darth Plato, you read my mind, is the Princess of Coruscant. How did you know, Darth Plato? I wasn't going to tell anyone about this. It's supposed to be a secret between me and the Emperor. He said he wasn't going to say anything to anybody. So we just want to keep it on the down low. Don't let anyone know the truth except for you guys. OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says, good morning, Russ and chat. Well, good morning to you, OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars. Bonzo Kilborn, hello. Bonzo Kilborn says royalty seems very outdated. Just don't get it. I hear what you're saying, Bonzo. I know a lot of people do feel that way. Yeah. So, Russ and guys, here is Tom Jr. Jackson's YouTube channel link. Guys, go in there, and I'm telling you, Tom has the most incredible reviews on so much of the stuff that we love on his channel. You've got to check it out. It's there. And Dark Plato says that football is big in the South and Midwest. Well, you know something? It's big in the Northeast, Darth Plato, and in the Southeast. I think it's big throughout the United States, just to be honest with you. So there is that. All right. Now, something that I'm kind of curious about, Russ, is about Galaxies, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Part 3. And I had the fortunate experience of seeing the movie this week. Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3?
I have not. I've had a massive week this week with potentially lots of good things happening for me down the road, but it's always potentially down the road. You know, it's never like, I wish they'd just fucking say yes next Thursday. That would be great, but it's not next Thursday. So I'll tell you a little bit about that if you're interested in hearing that. No, I haven't seen it. But I have listened to a lot of spoiler reviews because my care factor for Marvel has been on the down low ever since the end of Endgame. It's just not been the same. I'm not interested in it in the same way that I'm interested in DC. However, I did my due diligence, so feel free to talk about it. I'm not sure I can add much in the way of commentary about what I think of the film, only what other people have thought of the film. So my impression of this movie from the several reviews that I've watched, and I'd be interested to hear what other people think of if they have actually seen it, is that out of Phase 4 and Phase 5, the big burgeoning Phase 5, Guardians is by far the best film out of, you know, the Eternals and Doctor Strange and everything else that's sort of come before it. It's fine, but that's it. It's not. If you're thinking this is the film that is going to suddenly announce phase 5 and this is like, yeah, fucking, we're back, we're going to hit hard, blah 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 blah, that ain't this film. This is what I've heard. I can't comment on it because I haven't seen it myself. So what do you think, Ara? Is this the round 14, round 15 Rocky Balboa comeback? You know, the audience is exhausted now and on the ropes, and Marvel are coming back punching hard with a knockout blow to silence all of their critics and say, no MFs, we're back? Or is it just, as I have heard, it's not bad, it's all right, it's okay, so it's a bit Black Adam? Yeah, it was a film, yeah, it was fine. It didn't offend me. It didn't do anything. It didn't really advance the story or didn't really do anything. They said that the whole situation. Are we allowed to talk about spoilers?
No, no, because it's the first week and you haven't seen it.
Yeah, but I
So
do know that they've brought that there are characters that you wouldn't expect to see in there, and that's a big part of the plot, and that apparently isn't handled very well, and it doesn't resolve very well. Whatever you think of the resolution of that, fine. But yeah, not like 3.5, 4 out of 5 kind of movie, not like a fucking solid 5 star. Yeah, oh god, this is amazing. Us, they're back. What do you think?
well, before I get to it, I do just want to acknowledge OG fan when Star Wars is just Star Wars because I'm becoming so vain here. I don't know about RM being a princess, but I know she's the queen of streams and my dreams. Wow,
Oh,
OG,
you're only human, OG Star Wars, when Star Wars was just you're only fucking human. That's all
you
I'm
know
gonna
I
say.
love this
To
stuff.
know her is to love her. To see her is to be stunned. And looking like a princess in that tiara, well, I think I might have to take my sweatshirt off. What am I saying here?
I love you guys so much for this. Thank you. And Nathan says, I enjoyed the sense of unity during the coronation. Definitely, Nathan, there was this family unity, national unity, international unity. People like myself who are from the Commonwealth realm absolutely love this. I saw the St. Lucian flag. I saw the Grenadian flag. I saw the Jamaican flag. I saw a bunch of Commonwealth Caribbean nations represented there. And that felt great because this is part of our lives. It is a huge part of our lives. Um, and Nathan says it was refreshing to watch that during these times of division. Absolutely, Nathan. It was absolutely wonderful. I enjoyed it so much. Now, regarding Guardians of the Galaxy,
Hmm.
um, I haven't gone in a deep dive into YouTube to find out what everybody thinks. And to be honest with you, I don't necessarily do deep dives to look at everybody's opinions about the film. I know Mikey Lito's opinion because I speak to him regularly. I know Tom Jr.
He
Jackson's.
literally says, sorry, Aram, he says right down the bottom, 9 out of 10, Russ, you listen to me and not some doubters on the male content. So I'm just going to tell you, Mikey Lito, that I'm going to watch that content and then I'll form my opinion.
Sure.
Back at you, bro. I got it in there. Yeah, no, I don't know. Sorry, Aram, carry on.
No, it's okay. Russ, Mario also continues to say if a king or queen is good for a country, then why not sustain that kind of regime? There are so many countries with terrible presidents. At least the king is more safe. Yeah, Mario, why not have options?
No,
Let's
I
have some
think, look,
options.
because it's an entirely asinine and outdated institution that actually has no political meaning whatsoever anymore. However, it has been a part of our national heritage for 1,000 years. And before that, we had chieftains and all the rest of it. But Alfred the Great, all that. It's 1,000 years we've had this. And just because somebody happens to be sort of 23 and just got out of university and their head's full of shit, they think it should be abolished, and they grow up and then they realize it doesn't really matter if it's there or not. It's just part of what England or Great Britain is. We have a royal family. It's just part of what we are. It's part. I often think about the whole, and this is probably not the greatest example, but it's like the whole citizens having weapons situation in the States. I've often thought about this. It To a lot of Americans who don't own guns, it doesn't matter if they have a gun or not. It's fact that is enshrined in the Constitution, the right to bear arms and protect yourselves and pursuit of happiness and all that. It's there. Whether you've got a gun or not probably doesn't make much of a difference, but it's part of what makes the country what it is. And I think that's why people are so gnarly about it. And I think that's why people are so gnarly about the royal family here. It's part of our national identity, it's part of our culture. That's what it is, part of our culture.
I agree that there is historical significance, there is cultural significance. I think there is importance to tradition. I think it's important to keep it alive, and I think that we need people to keep it alive. So there has to be progeny and somebody else, other people who find it interesting and want to continue the traditions. I think the traditions are important, and I think they should be kept alive. Not just in Great Britain. I am an Anglophile, but not just in Great Britain. In all of the royal families across the world, I think it's important to keep those going. So it's
Can you bear
wonderful.
with me a second? I can't handle the tiara. Hold on. go. You know, in the guns.
I'm loving this so much. This is I can't wear this tiara every day, so I have to enjoy this weekend. That those are some of the things that I think many of you have said about the British royal family in particular. Because I'm from a Commonwealth realm, we do have a strong connection to Great Britain and always will. That's not ever going to go away. So I think it was wonderful celebration day. I enjoyed it immensely. My mother enjoyed it. She got dressed up, but she right after the first viewing, so because we watched the coronation about 4 times. So we didn't just watch it once. And then we watched the after show and then the pre-show and then all sorts of shows afterwards. So we
Did
had
you watch the concert?
Well, we haven't watched it yet. Did it take place yesterday or is it today?
Last night. It was last night at Windsor Castle, yeah. And they
Okay.
had my daughter was made up because they had Lionel Richie there. Like for some bizarre reason, that she's like a massive metalhead, but she fucking loves Lionel Richie. I don't know why that she was made up that Lionel was there and Take That were there and Katy Perry was there.
Take That was there?
Take That headline. They headline all the royal shows now because they love them for whatever reason. I Take That, you kind of think of Take That as a new band, but Take That have been going for like 25, 30 years now, whatever it is.
Whatever I said, I didn't mean
Didn't
it.
mean it.
I
I just want
back
you to know.
for
I want you
good.
back. I want you back. I
I
want you
want
back for good.
I love that song. Yeah, it's being aired here in the United States at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So my mother and I are going to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. California Girls are undeniable, all that good stuff with Katy Perry. So I'm looking forward to it. I haven't seen the concert, Russ, but I'm looking forward to seeing the concert. We had to go to sleep. Like we actually legitimately had to go to bed at some point. Although we talked about the coronation incessantly yesterday. Now, guys, thank you for putting up with my coronation talk. If I could actually talk for another 2 or 3 hours on the coronation, but I'm not going to do that because I'm restraining myself, even though I have a lot of other thoughts about the coronation and that. So, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which Nathan has here, and as I said, I didn't deep dive into YouTube to find out what everybody thought, but obviously Mikey Lito, I kind of talk to him, very often. The same with Tom Jr. Jackson and a bunch of you here who, you know who you are, Darth Plato, that I actually speak to maybe every day or every other day. So Nathan says Guardians 3 was great, an excellent conclusion to our Guardian story. Now, my best friend, the Guardians are his favorite Marvel films. He always liked the Guardians above all the other ones. And just like you, Nathan, he said Guardians 3 was excellent and it was the perfect conclusion to the Guardians story. It's the only normal Marvel film I've seen in years, Russ. It feels like
define normal.
There's no mistakes. There's no missteps. People are what they're supposed to be. Their strengths as characters are what they're supposed to be. The story makes sense. It fits into the Marvel universe. There isn't anything odd or out of place. It's a perfect film. And I think that the film itself is maybe the best Marvel film that we've seen in years.
That's what I've heard, right? This is what everyone's been saying. It's not people have, as I said earlier on, people don't think it's the detractors, if you like, don't think it's the one that's going to explode, but it's good. It's pretty good.
I would say if I had to give it a score, I would give it an 8.5 because the story was phenomenal. It was phenomenal what we witnessed in this film. As Tom said, it was fun and heartbreaking. Russ, I wasn't expecting this level of deepness in a story in this film. I wasn't expecting anything like this. And not only was I not expecting this level of a story, I wasn't expecting this level of special effects. I wasn't expecting this level of community in the film. I wasn't expecting this level of discovery in the film. I wasn't expecting any of this. We had the Christmas special, which kind of, I don't really feel like the Christmas special was set everything up or was necessary for this film, although it kind of ties in well. I personally think that what this film did was to bring us back to the tropes we know in a Marvel film.
Well, that my friend bodes well for the future, because before Disney went on, or Disney Marvel went on its crusade of girl bosses and lecturing the audience and things. And nobody wants that, right? Nobody really. We've got to the stage of things now that people are out and out rejecting it. I haven't come here to. If it's gone back to, yeah, it's fun. Here's the '80s soundtrack. Here's Peter Quill being silly. Here's Rocket Raccoon being funny. Oh, here's a bit of pathos. Oh my God, that's going to make you cry. And they do make you cry. These Marvel movies, like there's some moments in there. You know, just do that, guys. You can print money. Give them what they want.
The other
Simple.
thing, the other thing I wanted to say, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off
no, no,
there.
not at all.
In regards to what Nathan is saying, and I do kind of want to comment on this. I don't think I have Nathan's comments still here. Mikey Lito, of course, has mentioned that it is the best Marvel content since Avengers Endgame. And I don't know whether Nathan would agree with me on this, but what I was going to say is, there's been a lot of conversation and talk about Chat GPT,
Mm.
AI. And to be honest with you, here Nathan says, I think Guardians 3 gives a lot of hope that Gunn will do Superman with a lot of heart, action style. Yes, there is the expectation right now, Nathan. There's more expectation for this, that's what will happen. And Michaelita says 9 out of 10. You need to listen to me, not doubters and malcontents. There's something else I have to say about this film. And Michaelito and Nathan and anybody else who's seen it, I would like you to comment on this thought. We've been hearing a lot about Chat GPT. We've been hearing a lot about artificial intelligence writing different things. And I can honestly say that some of the films we've been seeing do sound like they were written by Chat GPT. And Chat GPT has been around for about 5 years, but maybe not used entirely by the general public. We didn't have the app, but you could use it. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was generating or spewing out general kind of nonsensical scripts that I wasn't fond of. I wasn't enamored by all those scripts they pushed out, and hence the films that came along with them were not the greatest. But this script for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Nathan and Mikey Lito, I want to know what you think. There's no way an artificial intelligence could have written this script,
Oh
Russ. A
yeah,
human being,
it's nowhere near there yet.
a
I,
human being had to have written this, because there's too much emotional and kind of profound discoveries in this. No machine can write this. No machine is this intuitive. I just couldn't believe that it could be generated by anybody artificially. This is what we are expecting to see, the level of quality of the script. This is the level that we're expecting to see when we see a Marvel film. So there is that. I want to know what what some of you who have seen it think about it in that regard, because some of these other scripts, I'm not going to point out one movie, but some of these Marvel films that we had been getting previously didn't have that level of gravity or even talent, content, care to them. And it sounded like a machine wrote them. But this script, Russ, this was written from the heart. It was pure talent of Gunn. I was really excited and happy to see a normal script of what we expect on that level. It was intense, Russ. It was you couldn't turn your face away from the screen. It
mm.
was intense. I've been bored by some of what I've been seeing before. This really drew my attention, and I couldn't turn away from it, Russ.
Well, it would be wrong to say that James Gunn doesn't know how to put a story together. It would also be wrong to say that James Gunn isn't as woke AF, but he seems to be smart enough to know when to put that into his stories. Like I've spoken often about the whole argument at the end of Peacemaker, where the alien points out all these woke things and has a go at Trump and a go at guns and a go at this and a go at that, and basically, just basically ticks off, you see that lady that's always crying, and I've always got that picture, literally she was like that lady. And Peter's like, no, I don't believe that. And then he just literally physically torpedoes the whole argument. So he gets it, right? But this guy's a good writer. Is he the right guy for Superman?
That's
I,
another
I,
question entirely.
yeah, he's made decisions that everybody that has ever seen me rant on this channel, yeah, it's the worst decision you could have possibly made. So the jury's out for me. But you've sold me. I'll definitely see it.
Oh, it's worth
It's just
seeing.
I haven't seen it yet because I've had the week that,
Oh,
as I said, it's been a busy week. But
you won't be wasting your time.
no, 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 I'm not going to waste my time. No,
This is a film that will not waste your time, Russ. For I can say that with confidence.
did I
And
say that I was going to waste my time? No, I don't think I'm. You said I said you've convinced me. I'm definitely gonna see it. Like you guys have sold me on it anyway. And I enjoyed the. I've always enjoyed Marvel films. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a hater, right? I'm not. I've said that they are fine, and Marvel films to me have always been fine. And I've forgotten about them by the time I've got to the car. That's kind of the thing. They're great. They're enjoyable. They're this. They're that. And so I got no problem seeing this movie. Like I'm looking forward to it. It's just I haven't got around to it yet.
um, hello to Gary Vandersanders Worthington says,
All
hello,
right, Gal.
commoners.
Yes.
Hello, Gary.
Do the royal
Hello.
wave. That's it.
Hello to you as well. Uh, um, uh, Marco says that he was disappointed. None of the jokes made him laugh. They didn't make me laugh either, Marco, but I wasn't disappointed in the film. I wasn't going in because I felt like I wanted to hear the comedy of the team, although they're known for that, right? That's what they're known for, is the comedy. This was a much more serious film, wasn't it, Marco? Very different. I'm sure it says comedy as a description, but I didn't consider it a comedy at all. I don't know about the rest of you. Maybe not. Oh, what is this? Oh, really? You mean, wait a minute,
Robbie
Robbie,
Williams.
yeah, from like Millennium Song and
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
uh,
Apparently he's massive. Apparently in real life, like this guy is like a fucking unit. I don't know. I've never met him. Gal, is he massive?
oh my gosh. I would have loved to have met Robbie Williams. That is amazing. Yeah, wow. Um, wow. Okay. Now I'm kind of starstruck by this.
Mhm.
So, you know something, uh, yeah. The other thing that I was going to say, okay, Michael Lito goes on to say that this film had an internal story arc, and it completed an arc that began with the first Guardians film and incorporated story elements from all Guardians content. So that means that if you are a lover of the three films, um, it's really important that you see. Excuse me, if you're a lover of the first two, it's really important that you see this final film to wrap it up.
So is it almost like this film is not hampered by the interconnected universe that Marvel has
It's not
become?
hampered,
It's
and
telling
you,
its own story relevant to one, two, and now
yeah,
this one.
and also you don't have to have seen Guardians 1 and 2 to enjoy this film. You
Hmm.
don't.
But
You
if
could
you
sit
have,
there,
like what Mikey was saying before, it ties shit up that
even though it ties
you'll know.
yes, even though it ties things up, you don't have to have seen 1 and 2. It's
Mm,
not completely, it's not entirely needed. You can still go into that theater, watch it, enjoy it, have a fun time. There'll be things you don't know, but it doesn't matter because the story is so good. And Gary says Guardians 3 makes the last four films, meaning he means the last four Marvel films, right?
mm.
Gary, look absolutely irrelevant. Now, I don't want to come down hard. I don't want to come down hard on those films. And I felt that there might be some truth to this in the sense of what you were saying, Russ. Um, what was the relevance of some of those films in the sequence of films when we're comparing it to others? And this one does feel more profound. It does feel very relevant. And I don't know whether I felt that way about Thor, Love and Thunder and some other films, which were okay. This film was very, very different.
Well, I
Russ,
think we've said so many times, and I get it. You know, you're in the boardroom and you're looking at analytics and spreadsheets and lines and this and that. But everybody outside of that boardroom, even I imagine if you're James Gunn and the Russos and everybody else, somebody needed to say, okay, we've done Endgame. No, no, stop. Let's take a breath. 2 years out, people will be hungry. People will be dying for us after a period of 2 years where we can have a rethink. What are we gonna do? What characters can we? Everybody like Daredevil. Why do they like Daredevil? Okay, let's do a Daredevil series. like what we did on Netflix. Let's do that, and let's sort of have him as a street level. Maybe you can meet Spider-Man. We'll put Spider-Man back. Oh, okay, then we'll do that. What about the loss of Tony Stark? Okay, well, that's going to really affect everything. And then, and spend some time. But that was not the way. So I'm kind of hoping, if this movie is ignoring as much as it can phase 4 and phase beginning of phase 5 and said, no, this is what we're doing, this is our own thing, we're going to look at that and go, because I saw a headline, and I haven't, as I say, I've had trouble with my stepdad today, so I haven't really had the time to look at things. But apparently Blade's been cancelled. Is this a fact?
I don't know. Does anyone know? I
Someone in
don't.
the, I bet Darth Plato, I know he knows everything. And if he doesn't, Tom Junior Jackson most certainly will.
Yes.
um Yeah, so I think we're preaching to the choir, right? Obviously they should have paused, but they didn't. But hopefully this will be a turnaround, and make Marvel great again. That's what everybody wants.
I don't. It almost even feels. I don't even know. I think that the previous films changed Marvel a bit, and this
Mhm.
one is somewhat. It's good enough to be a standalone film away from a lot of what we've been seeing recently, and I'm fine with that. I don't know whether I feel that it has to be the film that turns things around for Marvel. I don't even think it matters. It's just such a good film. No one will care that it's a Marvel film. No one is even thinking about that. This film is great. It's wonderful to watch a film that's this great. I mean, gosh, Russ, it's nearly perfect.
Mm,
And I haven't been able to say that about a lot of films, especially superhero ones that had complicated issues. This thing was complicated. This was not a simple film by a long shot. Um, Guardians never was a simple concept, but this really was complex. Um, Nathan says Guardian shows that AI can't write toward heart, emotion, and continued depth of character, and those things were in this film. Heart, emotion, continued depth of character. I didn't know I was seeing a film that had this storyline in it,
mm,
Russ. I wasn't expecting that, and man, I'm still very I'm still very crushed. There's some scenes, it's not I'm not scarred, but
mm.
there's still some scenes of stuff that I saw that I still can't remove from my brain. And as an adult, like, you can handle it. It's not going to be like the most shocking thing you've ever seen. But boy, it was heartbreaking. Like Tom said, some of that stuff was just,
And I
uh,
can't wait to see it. I definitely, I'll take Sam. We'll go in the week. We'll go watch it, for sure. Yeah. Well, Stavros here says ChatGPT should get deleted as a website or an app. Well, that ain't gonna happen, isn't it? I mean, like
it's
Google
been
Google are
outlawed by
doing.
a country, though. It's been
Pardon?
outlawed by a country. I don't know which
Who's it?
one.
I know. All right. But Google are pressing hard to get to the singularity, because it's interesting what someone was saying before, like computers don't have heart or emotion, and that's really true. Because the computer, right, and she felt really sad, but a computer will never know what, at this time at least, without the singularity,
Right.
what feeling sad actually means, what questioning things
Yeah.
actually. Like I think Rob was talking about this, wasn't he, on one of his
Yes.
shows, about like Vija. Is this all I am? This is what I'm here to do. Like, I'll fucking travel around the universe and get knowledge. What do you think, Dad? That's kind of the point. Um, but
Mhm.
it is concerning, and part of this writer's strike is actually to get to have limitations on AI, because it's not going to stop, and it's going to get better. I mean, yeah, we're at the phase of writing AIs that the last Starfighter was with CGI, right? It was the first ever CGI, and it looked okay at the time, and now it looks really hokey. Just imagine what Chat GPT, if it continues the way it's going, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger says that, the computers are trusted to run it all. It begins to learn at a geometric rate. I mean, it's we've all seen the Terminator, like, stop. But my point is, in 5 years' time, the technology will be absolutely unrecognizable to what it can do now. We're old enough to remember a time before phones. We're old enough to remember a time before internet. I'm old enough to remember a time before remote controls on the telly. Like, you used to have to get up, and yeah, we had 3 channels in England. You used to have to get up and turn the channel over and all that stuff. So, and that's in the period of our lifetimes. So you can imagine in 10 years' time or 5 years' time what this technology will be. Look at the art stuff, Leonardo and the other one that everybody does. I forget what it's called, but you know, like it's gone from sort of like producing
Van Gogh.
really, I don't know what it's
Van
called,
Gogh.
but you know, it's gone from producing like pictures that of people that look really funny to all of a sudden like these. Well, I sent you a picture of, you know, like Annie got a, she downloaded this stupid thing. Like her friend Bree says, "Oh no, we got this thing. You got to try this thing," and it's like $3 or whatever it was to hire it for a month, and it just makes you into an AI person. And I sent you the two pictures of me. I look like fucking Superman in
Well,
one of the
it's on the
pictures.
thumbnail. It's the thumbnail of you. It
Yeah,
looks,
yeah, you changed it, right?
yeah, it looks fantastic. And I'm sure Tom made the picture of me. It's a picture of me, but he did something to it, right, Tom? And it's on the thumbnail here. That's where we got this from. But you're right. Mikey Lito says, I can't praise this story high enough. And on another subject, the hype about artificial intelligence highly overstated. Now, I did want to say that you cannot describe the story. You cannot describe, I haven't described the story to anybody, and I'm not going to ever describe the story to anybody. You have to see this movie. It's not easily describable because there are situations like what you were talking about, Russ, that are not easily translatable. You have to write down what's going on in the context and subtext. And there's a lot of it in this movie that there are no words for. There's a lot of acting, and mind you, it is CGI, but there's a lot of CGI acting. Or maybe it's people in motion capture, but there's a lot of this acting that takes place that doesn't have any words, Russ, and it is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. So I wasn't expecting that. Mikey Lito, I think you and I are on the same plane of this. And I think I think Gary Vando Sandwich has a graphic that may not please very many people. I
I feel like I need to be that fucking Kerry Grant meme. Get out, get out, get out. You know that one?
Well, thank you, Gary Vanda Sandwich. It really, I don't think there's anything that can compare to Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy 3 right now. I don't think there's anything that can compare to it. I don't think we have gotten anything like this. I think I think it's individualized itself from so much of what we've been seeing. Mario says James Gunn is great for Marvel, but to me, it's the wrong person for the DC. I need care. I need and care. DC should be dark, not funny. Interesting.
Couldn't agree more, Mario.
In-
We've said this before. We're on that team, and as I said, I'm just not convinced he's the right guy. He's a brilliant writer. Peacemaker, great. You know what a big Peacemaker fan I am. You also know my distaste for his decision making, and I've never been. I lie. I probably was completely on board with him when he first came on. I was like, no, he's a good writer. He can do this. He did Brightburn. It's fine. He can do that. But the decisions he has made now have firmly put me into the FU. I'm not you. You're gonna have to do what Snyder did to me 10 years ago, because I was not into that at all. I was like, oh, no Christopher Reeve, no underpants, no John Williams, no nothing. What the hell? This is gonna be shit. Look at this guy. He's got stupid hair. It looks like a boofer. Oh my god, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so much better than any other film I've ever seen. My god, I love this. So maybe that will be my reaction to this.
And Dino Dinosaur says, do you have to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special before watching 3? I'm going to say no. You don't have to watch any Guardians before watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Mikey reckons, yeah. Mikey reckons
Oh,
it.
Mikey says,
Mikey reckons it does. He said it'll. Well, no, you don't have to, but it'll be helpful.
Yes. Listen to what Mikey Lito says. You won't forget this one by the time you get to the car. Mikey Lito, it's still haunting me. It's still haunting me, Mikey Lito, and I don't like that. It's still
that was to me though, because I always say, like, by the time I've left the cinema and got to the car, I've forgotten about Marvel. But if it stayed with you, then that's a great yardstick.
Yeah, and Stavros mentions that the jokes hit the right spot at somber moments. It was a somber film. Yes, please, guys, hit the like. Nathan says, I was glad that 3 wasn't as jokey as other Marvel fare have been. Throwing juvenile humor like Thor, Love and Thunder and others would have harmed. Yeah, it would have harmed. Oh my gosh, this would have been such a disaster if they had done something like that. Oh my goodness, this would have been such a disaster. I think I would have just, I don't know what I would have done. I think I just would have been very heartbroken by that type of treatment. um, Majesty, I can't do it. Her Majesty. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, thank you, Mikey Lito. Mikey Lito says there's no multiverse content in this film, Russ. Tom, are you still here, Tom? I just wanted to hear more about what you were thinking, Tom Jr. Jackson. He may not be here right now, but Tom, if you have a comment, please go ahead and say what you thought. I know Tom did a review on his channel as well. Blade has been delayed due to the writers' strike. Thank you, Mikey.
Thank you, Mikey.
Okay, and so does Nathan. Latoya T says, I think the release date has been pushed back due to the strike. Okay, thank you everybody for responding. That Delta Ray.
Yeah, apparently the script has been a complete disaster because they've been writing this thing for like sort of 3 years now, haven't they? And it's kind of like, what? How hard can it be to write a Blade script? You know, go buy the rights to Underworld and put Celine in it, and
Yes.
you'll make $1 billion. You'll just make $1 billion if you've just got Rain, Kate Beckinsale, Wesley, the other guy. I wish it was
Mahershala
Wesley.
Ali.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali. I wish it was Wesley, but you know, you'll have him, trench coats, rain, washed out colours,
Yes.
one-liners,
A lot of
Shakespearean Kate,
non-blinking
a
eyes,
long, long, long blinking eye. I mean, look, this shit writes itself. And there was actually talk that they were going to do that at one point. You know, crossover Celine with Blade, and like,
it would have been fantastic.
oh man, can you imagine the awesomeness of Wesley Snipes and Kate Beckinsale and all the Shakespearean Brit vampires going up against
Scream about
badass Blade
us.
and Whistler? Oh man,
We
come
got to
on.
do a stream about that. What if a what if stream? If Blade and Underworld were crossed. Um, Dino Dinosaur says, Michaelito, this is why I have lost interest in Marvel. You have to subscribe to Disney TV to follow the Marvel films. Yeah, it's a good point.
Mm.
And Delta Ray Studios 3. Hi, Delta Ray Studios. Hello. Delta Ray Studios, I did just want to say I checked out your channel and I do see that you are also a heavy gamer, a retro gamer. Am I correct in that? Delta Ray Studios 3. I hope I'm saying the right YouTube channel. There, Delta Ray Studios 3 has their own YouTube channel, and it is a retro gaming channel, if I'm correct. So great to see you here, Delta Ray Studios 3.
What's your favorite retro game?
Me?
Mm,
It's a game called Lifeline. It was on the
mhm,
PlayStation 2,
mm,
and it's a game that originally it was a Japanese game called Operator something, and
mhm,
you have to wear a headset, and
yeah,
there's a person that you give commands to, and you say, okay, walk down to section 4, and they have to like literally walk, and
that
then you say,
sounds awesome.
oh, it's so much fun. It is so cool. And you're on an international space station, and it's like the year 1999, and they're
Or
celebrating.
the far distant future of 1999, right?
And you're celebrating the new year, but something happens during the party and you escape. The person escapes, but you're an operator. You are an operator, and you're like, hello, is someone there? And you're like, yes, I'm here. And they're like, something terrible happened. And I'm like, and then you have to give them a command and say, look, go to such and such room and look here. It's incredible. It's an incredible game. That is my favorite retro game. It's called Lifeline. And I still think about the game, like I can still hear the theme music of the game, and I can still see the space station somewhere in the
Mhm,
galaxy,
mhm.
and somewhere in the galaxy is that person, and I'm giving them command. It's just so cool. I love that game. That's my. What about you, Russ? What is your favorite retro game?
I only ever play Rome Total War, so that's my I've got a brilliant mod for it called New World, which has Amazons in it and Trojans in it and Vikings in it and all that. So it's sort of, it doesn't have magic, but it's basically historical fantasy at this point. I absolutely love that. And if I had a chance again, I'd like to replay a PC game called Lords of Midnight, which you can find online because they've done all these. That was on the Commodore 64 back in the 80s, and I always thought that was a brilliant game. Yeah, so, and the one I liked on the PlayStation, because I had a PlayStation 3, and of course it was really sort of pervy actually. This game, I used to play it with my daughter, and she just was so young, she didn't really know what she was looking at. But it was called DOA, and it's like a karate game. That was so much fun. Like, we'd all, the whole family would play it. You know, like me, Sal, Sam, we just sit there like button mashing. She was only little, and I love that. I love that game as well. But the girls in it, the animations were a bit sus.
Oh,
if
I
you
see.
if you
Like really, really large breasts and that.
huge boobs, and like every time they got knocked out, they would lie, they go,
See their underwear.
like, and the boobs are going like this. And there was one that we used to play. There was one. What was her name? Tina Armstrong. She was like the Pamela Anderson of the blonde hair, blue eyes, massive boobs, and all that. There was one we used to play called Soul Calibur,
Oh yeah,
and
I've
I
heard of
thought,
Soul Calibur.
right, but then you're having, because I used to watch all the things on YouTube as to how to make the characters look like other characters. Sam loved Predator and she loved superheroes, so I spent hours making Wonder Woman, making Supergirl, making Power Girl, making the Predator, making all these things. But when you were having a fight, with the swords, it, if you get to a certain point, like all their fucking clothes fly off and they're sort of fighting each other in their underwear. It's like, what? That's not a thing. Why is that a thing? That's not a thing. That doesn't happen. But yes, I suppose they can. But they don't care, and it was all good fun. But yes, so I would say Rome Total War and DOA.
Yeah, those are excellent choices of games, I have to say. There was another one that came to my mind, but it escapes me now, that I liked a lot. But oh, yes, it's not really retro, although it's from 2012, so maybe it is. It's a game called Bioshock Infinite.
Mm,
Maybe my second favorite game to The Last of Us Part One.
mm.
Bioshock Infinite was just incredible looking, and I really miss that game. I might play that game on the channel, guys. You already know I'm playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor right now, but I might go ahead and play that game. So yeah, there is that. Let's see. So we have more people talking about Chat GPT. Um, and Nathan says, if you only watch Guardians 1 and 2, you would think it's Peter Quill's story. When you are Guardians 3, you realize it's been Rocket's story all along. Well, I'm not going to say anything. See, Nathan, I wasn't going to say anything about that. But yeah, it's true. It's amazing, Nathan, to see how it completes the arc, doesn't it?
Mm.
Um, Justin's Channels, hi, Justin's Channels, says art right now. It is true. AI cannot compete with the highest art, but it is only a matter of time. Project after project, skill after skill, large language models learn they have.
Well, this
Yes.
is what Rob was saying. I'll never forget that show when he first discovered Leonardo or whatever it was. And it wasn't actually even him. Someone had basically said, do the concept art for the Dune movie in the style of somebody else. And it produced all this like amazing artwork that actually looked like it had been done by this other guy and his concepts and all that. And this is was it Aronofsky? I don't know. And somebody had done it, and it was incredible. That was then 6-8 weeks ago, and now it's already we're already on different versions of it. So yeah,
Well,
yeah, I don't
you know,
know. I don't know where it's going to go.
I think that prompts, these prompts of them using references and then creating new stuff or creating a rehomogenized version of something that it's seen is what humans do too. But that factor of care and as I said, Russ, when you talk about two fighters are fighting and one fighter looks to the left and as they're looking to the left, they see somebody who's really important to them, distracts them from the fight,
Mm.
and someone punches them, and then they're at a disadvantage. Some of the nuances of looking at somebody or seeing a person in a specific state, the person is broken and has an injury to their eye. The way you describe it is very important because it has different meanings in different contexts, and I think the context is where the AI doesn't get it. But I also think a lot of that context has been a problem for a lot of the films we've been seeing. So that's why I had theorized it's not true. It's my theory. Well, it's not more like a
Mhm.
hypothesis, I guess,
Mhm.
that a lot of these scripts were written by an AI. So this is just
Some of
my.
them almost certainly will have been. I think because it's so convenient to say, write me a fight scene in which two people are fighting. The stakes are this, the stakes are that. One person's using taekwondo techniques, and I really need you to write it in the style of Quentin Tarantino, and you give it all that stuff, and it'll just spit you out some text like that, and you just go, cut and paste, brilliant. That's that fight scene done. Because writing fight scenes is fucking hard work. It really, you the amount of times I've been dancing around this bedroom with my back scratcher in my hand, like, okay, right, so he's going to block there, and that's going to come around, and you're going to do that, and that will take that. So now we can come in there, we can do the strike there, but I hold on, and I'm doing that. Whereas you can get GPT to do all that for you.
Well,
So
there's one fight scene, and I think Mikey and a bunch of you who've seen the film was in it. That it was incredible. That's something else. And like you, Mikey Lito, I really can't stop thinking about it. While I was playing Jedi Survivor, Mikey Lito was talking about how unbelievable the movie was. So that's my final take on that. It really was unbelievable. Oh, Darth Plato mentioned some retro games. Lifeline sounds like the plot of Oblivion. Yeah, it probably is the same plot.
that was a great
Um,
film.
Absolutely. And retro games, Civilization. Oh, you mean, yeah, Civilization, like all the civilizations.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
is it Chris Myers' Civilization, Darth Plato? Or Myers Civilization? I played all those. I like his Pirates game. I think he had a pirate game. Maybe it wasn't a pirate game, but it was a great pirate game. It's on one of my computers. I still love that game. Um, okay, yes. And Stavros is saying Big Daddies and Little Sisters. And of course, that's all in Bioshock.
Ah,
Yeah, that's definitely a Bioshock comment. Certainly, Pong. Yeah, Pong. That's
that
a
was great.
mhm. Hey, what's this? Listen, Dudette and Dudes this week released that an AI could read the thoughts of a person in an fMRI. That's right. Just by reading the fMRI, an AI could tell you what they were thinking. Well, you know something.
What's an
I'm assuming
fMRI?
I'm assuming it's an MRI. I thought that that's what doctors did.
All
They looked
right, okay.
at MRI and they could tell you what the
Yeah,
person.
yeah. All right, fine, fine.
But it is incredible. It is incredible. I'm not saying it isn't. Something to think about. Oh, and look, Eric McKitten is here, says, love this channel. Well, we love you, Eric
We
McKitten.
love you, Eric.
And it is Sid Meier. I knew it, Eric, right? It's Sid Meier. Yeah, he has so many. Yes, Sid. Yes, he has been great when it comes to games. Um, Justin says, Artem, thank you for reviewing this. I was on the fence about going by, but the way you put it really makes me want to go. Yay, Guardians. Yeah,
Right,
you're gonna
Justin?
get it.
Right? That's exactly how I felt. I was in two minds. I was waiting for it to come out on DVD or whatever. But no, I'm going to go.
Don't wait till it comes out. I think also if you can see it in 3D, you don't have to, but this might be one that might be fun to see in 3D.
You know what? Years ago, about 20 years ago now, I had that operation done on my eyes because I was terribly short sighted my whole life. And they did something to my eyes, which now I can see perfectly at distance. I can't see anything here because I'm old. But but with 3D, it just looks really dark. Like my eyes just don't work. Yeah, the 3D kind of works, but I can't really see what's going on the screen. It's just all too dark and all. So I can't. But well, I can, but it's not a great experience.
Stubble says that AI could be used to adapt a book like Hyperion in a 10 episode series. Stubble, I think that's what they've been doing. That's my hypothesis.
Do you
I
know,
think
do
that's
you know, I've
what's
never thought of that. I've got all of my books that I wrote on fucking Word.
Mhm. What are you saying, Russ?
I'm going to throw it into Chat GPT tonight and see if it can come up with a gladiatrix screenplay. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Well, you know what I am really concerned about is that if you throw something into Chat GPT, doesn't Chat GPT store what you've thrown into it and it uses that later on? It assimilates it. And then at any other time, if
See
you
the
were
language we're using. Chat to assimilate.
well, that's what
Resistance
I
is futile.
don't know. Hi, S Beam. How are you? Sure hope you are well, guys. Check out S Beam's channel on YouTube. Don't forget, he has a great show on YouTube. He is a collector and a designer of 1/6 scale figures. Certainly do check him out. Yes, a functional MRI. Absolutely. Yeah. That is what doctors are doing. Justin, we have to have doctors doing that. It's so important. He was a god of strategy of sim games in the 80s and 90s. But you know something, Eric McKetton, you can still get those games. Like if you go to PlayStation, people are still playing. There was one guy who had a game. How many years was it, Russ? He had a Sid Meier's game that was like really old, right? You remember?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was one guy who had a Sid Meier game that was like, I don't know how many years old, but it was old. He was still playing that game.
But, you
Gosh,
know,
it's so much.
I'm always amazed. Just to go down a little segue for a minute. And I was talking about Rome Total War earlier
Yes.
on, like Rome
Yeah.
2. Like that came. I think that game is now 10 years old. There are still people out there making mods complete. What do they call a complete redo? Like it's a complete do-over of the entire game, new map, new. There's kids out there. I say kids. There's people out there doing that stuff. There are people on the internet that will get a game and it's out there, Lords of Midnight from the Commodore 64, and they've got the game and they've opened up the cassette and they've taken all the code and they've recoded it and they're putting it up for no money. They're just doing it because they love Lords of Midnight or they love Rome Total War. There's some amazingly talented people out there. Yeah, so I think that's wonderful, to be honest with you.
It is, and there is. I sent this to you. Yes, you'll be contributing to your distinction will be added to our knowledge. Tom says G3 is a really fun movie, but beautifully heartbreaking. Yes, Tom, it's so heartbreaking. Ow, my heart is hurting. Eric McKitten says this is the way it learns, by remembering everything. Thank you so much. Oh, wait a minute. ChatGPT wasn't able to write my psychosexual story about Bruce Wayne and Dick
I think
Grayson.
you have to pay money, and then it'll do that for you, because it apparently, and this is not that I've tested it out. Am I? I don't think I'm ever going to be that smart, sexy, or erudite, Tom. But apparently, with the free artwork and the free chat, it won't let you do anything NSFW. But if you
Yes.
pay for it, well, then you're in. So, Mikey, a couple of dollars, and you too could have that sexy scene with which versions of Bruce and Dick is the question. That's what I want to know, Mikey. Who's lurking in there? Who's your top tier Bruce
I
and who's
think
your top
the
tier
Titans
Grayson?
versions are nice. I like the Titans versions.
Oh well, what's his name? Brendan Thwaites. He's pretty easy on the eye. I'm not gonna lie.
um, Eric McKetton says, I have almost all of them from the 80s and 90s using abandoned software sites and GOG. It's Sid Meier's Pirates. That game was so much fun. Okay. The other thing I was going to say is, oh, you're so glad I'm still wearing the tiara. Well, I have to keep it on. I put it on, I committed to it. What can be the occasion for taking it off? Like some uncrowning ceremony. Well, something, I have to take it off eventually, but I did want to show something, Russ. I sent it out to a number of people. I didn't think anybody would take me seriously because it's so unusual and it's not new. Like, it's been out for about a month. It's just that I have to kind of share it because it was this AI of Star Trek and Balenciaga. And it's like this computer generated version of what they think Star Trek would be like. And the guy who created it shows you how to create it. Like, you can feed it into Chat GPT. He says there's steps. You take certain pictures, it'll change things around. And it's essentially this odd fashion campaign for Balenciaga, but it's told by a Star Trek tone. And it's like the coolest thing. Like, you see the different characters talking about wearing Balenciaga, and there's like that's supposed to be the doctor, and he says, "I'm not a doc. I'm a Balenciaga fashion model, not a doctor." And
Rita, it's 90 seconds. Should we watch it?
I don't know whether I can watch it and get in trouble.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, because what if, like, they might say, "Oh, all
Fine,
right."
fine. No, well, let's not do it then. Let's check it out after the
Final
show.
frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Balenciaga. Its 5-year mission.
Okay, that's all I played. I played a few seconds.
Uh-huh.
But like, looking at these pictures, they're all computer generated versions of the characters from Star Trek. And you have to take an artistic license here. You're wearing clothes but it looks so cool. Like, it's cool, it's sexy. There's this part here with they even have an AI version of an alien here.
Of that guy, he was always at the end of Star Trek, wasn't he?
Yes.
Like, he had on the end credits. Yeah.
Yes, Balenciaga. I know this brand. Greatest Russian fashion inventor in Balenciaga.
Like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy and far-fetched that so I sent it to a bunch of people, but honestly, Russ, it's crazy things like this where someone's like, I wonder if we could make Star Trek like Balenciaga or Star Wars like Balenciaga. And they did it. And the guy who created it also has a YouTube video that shows you how to make anything you want in the form of Balenciaga. And it's just a lot of fun.
Well, please send me that, because I've been trying to do stuff with ChatGPT and our AI and all that sort of thing, and it just ends up being shit. So
I think I sent it. Oh, maybe I didn't send it to you, but I thought I did send you. Okay, I will send it to you. You will get it. Russ, you can make anything you want using the steps that this guy his. So on his YouTube channel, what's the guy's name? On the YouTube channel, you'll find his information. It's Novite is the YouTuber guy, but it's so incredible. He shows you how to do everything. He's done a bunch of different choices, and
it's back to what I was saying earlier on. He didn't need to do that. He could have just done it, and he knows how to do it. But no, this bloke's taken time out to say, look at this amazing shit that I've done, and this is how you do it. And I would never think to do that. And I think that's incredible. That's absolutely
he has a very detailed video, guys, on YouTube. If you want to go ahead and create your own version, of course, I'm going to have to create a version of you and I, Russ, going forward.
Can you do one? Remember we did that? We did a little bit of a skit on the show before, and we were asking everybody who they would be in the Empire. You remember, and you were saying that you were going to be one of the highfalutin people on Coruscant. A lot of the people in the chat were saying they were going to be Jedis.
Yes, I would be a senator who just, I would be in Coruscant. I don't even remember what my home planet looks like because I've been living on Coruscant for so long. I don't even remember what my constituents are like because I've been exploiting the system. And all I care about, whatever the Republic's name is or whatever they're calling it these days, I don't care anything about that. I'm a social climber. I just want to be part of that group and go to the opera and, kind of live the high life. So yeah, I kind of like that Coruscant social elite kind of high, climbing thing. And hello, Iron Jacobson says hello, Princess RM. But yes, Russ, you're right. It would be very interesting to do something with that. I think we can. Can we have the link? Yes, I can, guys. Here it is. Just give me a second. I just want to make sure. This guy's so fucking amazing. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Okay.
Yeah, you said the F word. That's it. Demonetized. You're in the shit now, RM.
This is the Balenciaga video in the chat, but I'm also gonna. Oh, thank you, Mikey Lito, for the $2 super chat. Says spend money on super chats, not on Chat GPT. Oh, thank you, Mikey Lito. That is.
But
so
Mikey,
great.
this is a family show. There won't be any NS stuff. Whatever they are, not safe for work situations on Sunday brunch. It's too early, and we are a family show, despite all the swearing that comes from this side of the pond. I apologize.
And I just want to make sure I get the right one because this might actually be somebody who just posted it on their channel. But there's a video, and I have it in my playlist. I just want to see if I can find it because it may not be. This might get you to it, but there's a guy who I can't remember his name. Is this it? Let me just see if I can find it, Russ. And I promise you, I will get it for you. I don't have my phone with me. This is very odd that I don't have my phone with me. But he does a tutorial, and I will get you the tutorial because I saved it, and it's on my phone, and I don't have my phone in front of me, so I can't go ahead and give it to you so that you can do it. But I promise you guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the original one, Russ, and send it to you, but I'm also going to make a short about, hey, if you guys ever wanted to do a Balenciaga video, well, here's the information you can do it. But it doesn't just have to be Balenciaga. You can substitute the names for any style that you want. Let's say maybe rather than Balenciaga, you wanted to do Jean-Paul Gaultier. And we all know how unusual his fashions are. A Jean-Paul Gaultier would be amazing. Justin, you can't share it because you can't share the link, but you can say where you found it. Thank you so much, Justin. I do appreciate it. So Russ, the other thing I was going to say about all of this is that it was interesting to see these applications of it. Not anything that I thought that I would be looking at and enjoying, like for example, the Balenciaga video or anything that's generated by it. But even if you made a 10-minute video like that and it got 1 million views, it's an artificially generated video that got 1 million views, and it doesn't necessarily involve a human who's acting in it. It's oh, thank you so much, Retro Nerd Girl. I
You're
get
the best, Retro.
Retro Nerd Girl, did you find the his tutorial on there? Because I don't see it. There's one where he tells you how he does it, and when you go to Novate, it doesn't have this one. Might just be a re thing, but I don't have my phone. I hate that I don't have my phone. Oh, wait a minute, maybe the one I sent to Julian is here, and from that I can look at it. So
Well, I mean, don't put yourself under pressure and be trying to find links now. I mean, you can do a 5-minute follow up to say, yeah, I was trying to find the links. Here they all are, and just pop it out on the channel, and then interested parties can go and just look at the links in the description, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I can't find the well, it gets me because I'm like, I have to find it and I get obsessed with it. But that's okay. And thank you, Retro Nerd Girl. There is a this rights issue. People are talking about rights and everything. And but yes,
What rights issue? Oh,
well,
because of Star Trek and using other people's
yeah.
IP and all that stuff. Yeah, it's always an interesting one. I saw that Rob was banging on about this one thing, and I'd actually seen it on Dave Cullen's channel, Computing Forever, and I had no idea about this at all because I'm not a big Star Trek guy. But there's what's the name of the planet Captain Kirk gets killed on in that awful Generations movie? I forget what it's called, Viridian 6 or Viridian 5,
Yeah.
something like that.
That's right.
Anyway, these guys have just done a skit of Star Trek, and apparently it's part of the Star Trek Museum, and it's got Mr. Spock's there, Leonard Nimoy there, as he would at the age he would have been during, and it's like flawless. It's I saw the clip, I was like, fuck, that's amazing. And just thinking to myself, and then now they're talking about taking the Star Trek animated TV series, which I am led to believe by serious Star Trek aficionados is absolute canon. Like a lot of those shows are really, really great. And now they're talking about actually just bringing those into live action, using the scripts that they've got with the voices of the actors that they've got, and doing what they've done with this Viridian 6 thing for Paramount Plus. What Star Trek fan isn't going to love that?
Well,
I'd
yeah.
love it.
Yeah. That's a good.
I mean, it just occurred to me in my fondest wish, couldn't they do that with the Snyderverse? Just make an AI Snyderverse with Cavill and everybody in it, and be still my heart, because that'd be cheaper than doing it for real, right? Anyway,
Well, I always thought there was a bit of that in animation anyway. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Stubble, it doesn't even matter. Because I guess the beginning of the end happened in Manchester when DJs became more popular than artists. So as far as I'm concerned, not that mind you, I love Manchester for doing that. Because they kind of created the EDM scene. But the point is that as soon as live performances were not important, and the digitization of music happened, the AI pretty much, that's what a lot of these guys, I'm not saying that they're not actual musicians, but it kind of changed the value that we put on music. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the worst thing that can happen to music has already happened, Stubble. Artists are not making money off of their music. That's what's happened, and it's unfortunate. So that's my answer to that. I also have another super chat from Tom. Tom, I love this. Just showing some sweet love on this beautiful May Sunday morning. Lady Autumn and Sir Russ, as always, this is the highlight of Sundays. Oh, Tom.
you're too kind, but I have to say, everyone, all proceeds go to our I am a guest on this channel. I am not a YouTuber. I don't have my own channel. So when you're donating, you are donating to our Now, remember that she just doesn't have to sit here and listen to my bullshit for an hour and a half on a Sunday. Like our is constantly out there doing things on this channel, on other channels, guesting on channels, and generally putting herself out there to entertain you, me, and everybody else that watches the show. So do donate to her, to this one, to whatever one you want, because she deserves it. And this channel, our room's channel, deserves to get bigger because she is all about positivity. She's got the girls of the PGS. She's got all these things going on, and I really think that she deserves your support, and more power to her. So all proceeds of Positive Fandom go to our room.
Well, thank you, Russ. Thank you, Russ. And thank you, everybody who's here. And I have been enjoying everything today. You guys are the best. You know, I love to interact with all of you. And thank you so much for the generosity, Tom. Tom and I are going to meet up this summer, finally. I am going to take Metro North out to you, Tom, and we are going to hang out where you are for sure this summer, Tom. So thank you so much. I so appreciate it. My moderator, collaborator, and good friend, Tom Jr. Jackson. Yeah. So Darth Pluto says night over forever. And we have the Hidden.
Absolutely.
The Hidden is here. Hi, the Hidden. Says, hey, what's up? I hope you're well. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stubble.
Nice one, Stubble. Thank you.
Oh my God, Stubble McShave. Wow.
Wow, that's a lot. That's huge, Stubble. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for, is it Kroner? I can't remember the denomination.
Yeah,
but
Swedish krona, yeah.
100 Swedish kroner. Stubble. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. You are so kind. Stubble. Oh,
That's incredibly generous, Stubble.
Yeah,
Wow.
thank you so much, Stubble. That is so sweet and kind of you. And guys, remember, Stubble and I are going to be doing our recap of season 1 of The Wheel of Time, as well as season 2 this fall coming up. Stubble, you are the best. Thank you so much. Every penny makes all the difference. So thank you so much for that. Also, yes, the Hidden. Hi, and how are you?
Hidden is revealed.
The Hidden is revealed. Wow, Stubble. It's so sweet of you. So you know something, Russ? The other thing that I think is kind of interesting is, and we did talk about the writer's strike, and Saturday I spoke about the writer's strike and how you know they do actually have that. You know what, Stubble? It doesn't matter. I'm so grateful for it. It's wonderful, Stubble. I don't care how much. Darth Plato. Oh my goodness gracious. Darth Plato for a $2 super sticker.
It's because they found out I don't get any of this now. They go, oh yeah, fuck that guy. Now we're going to start paying.
Aww. Aw, thank you, Darth Plato, for the $2 super sticker. Guys, you know, I stream with Darth Plato. Darth Plato and I are doing a review of Racial Hornblower right here on the channel. It's been moved to Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Darth Plato and I are going to continue to do our historical series here on Positive Fandom and on the Burnettwork. We are going to be looking at Oppenheimer and the Napoleon series coming up, guys. So thank you so much, Darth Plato. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Mikey Lito says, did I read correctly that season 2 of Andor is done? Yeah, I think they had wrapped it up.
They said that they're done, and Gilroy said, look, you know, we got it in, like the scripts are done, and it was they got it done on the eve of the writer strike. So a lot of people are coming out and saying if they're done or if they're not done. As we heard on this channel, I was asking about Blade. Blade isn't done, therefore Blade ain't going to get done. It's not going to get done at least for 90 days. So as far as I understand it, that the writers have to be on strike for 90 days. Then all of a sudden their contracts start to run down and expire. Then they can negotiate new contracts, which apparently the insiders are saying this is what this is all about.
Well, that's something to think about, Russ, because, you know, from what I understand, in their contracts, it says there's a lot of things that they just can't do. Like, for example, they're not permitted to write, negotiate, have meetings. It's a lot of restrictions. It's a lot of restrictions. And I think it is kind of bizarre that it is so extreme, but it's a lot of restrictions where, you know, if you're in the middle of, if you're part of WGA, that you fall into that category. Now, if you're in some of the other guilds, I don't think it applies to you, but since WGA has such a huge following and 98% of the group um, are involved in it, it's a big deal. Like it affects a lot of people. And seeing people on the picket lines like Russ, this is heartbreaking, especially at a time where we're seeing not just this writer strike, but an incredible amount of layoffs going on in the entertainment industry right now, Russ. Like it's a
Yeah,
lot. And
absolutely.
the timing is just absolutely terrible. I feel terrible. What's happening to all of these people who had positions and now they don't, and now a whole bunch of people decide they're going to go on strike. Russ, it's just heartbreaking that they're in this position. So yeah. Oh, did you use so Justin? Um, did you use it? Because do have a Streamlabs link. Um, it's where is it? It's at the beginning of the stream, and I'll re-put up that link because normally what happens as soon as I start streaming, it'll redo it. So here it is. Is this it? No, it's not. I do have a Stream Elements link. It should have popped up, but it might be in the description of the video. So
Tom's just done it.
thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Here it is in case and her child grow group. How did you know, Tom? Yes, guys, if you want to support me, and my child Grogu, just send a tip here at Stream Elements at Positive Fandom, guys. The link is there. If you click on it, it'll bring you to Stream Elements if you wish. So thank you guys about that. And it is something to think about. I'm glad that I don't have to even think about a chat GTP or anything like that. But Rob was saying he thinks it's going to ruin the entertainment industry. Russ?
Potentially. I just knowing what I do about the film. Sorry, do you want to answer that question before?
Yes, I do prefer that, Justin. And thank you for asking. But please go ahead, Russ.
Just knowing what I do about the film industry and knowing how writers are treated in general, it's literally nobody gives a shit about what you think about anything. Like you come to someone with a project that you've created, you think you'd be important, and you just, yeah, that's a nice story. Okay, we're going to change everything. Computers don't complain. Computers don't want money. They don't want overtime. And the smarter these things get, the worse it's going to be for writers, and special effects people. And what if you're an artist that your whole career for the past 15-20 years has been creating concept art for studios, and that takes you weeks and months to design a spaceship and whatever it happens to be. I don't even know. And now you just go to Leonardo and go, yeah, do me a style of like I want to redo Star Wars, do this in the style of Ralph McQuarrie with a little bit of fucking Christopher Nolan and maybe a spaceship that looks badass, and it comes out with 50 different designs. That's the one. Great. So I think it has a lot of potential to mess things up. The one thing I would say is one of the interesting things I heard about this is we're nowhere near it upsetting the apple cart yet, but we're on the way. Somebody is saying if you lock a child in a room and the child, and for a long time, it's got food and water, but you've got a 4-year-old, you're going to leave her on her own for a number of times, they'll start drawing on the walls and they'll start creating and writing stories and having imaginary friends. If you leave your laptop in there with Chat GPT open for 1,000 years, it won't create anything. It doesn't have the spark to create something, unless of course you create an algorithm to say start creating shit, which I'm sure are already doing. But yes, no, I do think that the impacts will be deep, the impacts will be profound. I know that there's also a lot of scaremongering about it, and we're nowhere near the Terminator yet. But as I said, the sort of salient example I was trying to use earlier on, because I've done it myself. I was writing a skit and I said, I'm just going to ask ChatGPT to do it, and it's not perfect, but you can get the bones out of it, and you edit it, and you've written a chunk of stuff like that when you really only asked it for a heads up. We have a question here from Mario.
Yes, Mario, for the 5.99 euros. Thank you so much, Mario. I'm assuming that's a euro. So generous. Thank you, Mario, for doing that. I so appreciate it. Says, Russ, are you disappointed with SnyderCom? aka Full Circle, right?
Mhm.
I don't, because Zack Snyder demonstrated that he didn't give up of his two movies, Snyderverse Forever. He hasn't given up. I think that has been demonstrated. Keep hope alive. Hashtag keep hope alive. All that stuff. Mario, of course, guys, SnyderCon was last weekend, not this weekend, the weekend before. It generated $1 million or so. And of course, as I predicted, Ray Fisher did show up. So I'm not surprised by that. I had a gut feeling that Ray Fisher was going to show up, but so did Ben Affleck. But I'm kind of curious, Russ, you and I did talk about this, about SnyderCon, about the expectations of SnyderCon. Were you disappointed in it? Do you think there should have been more than what happened?
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. Like, I know what Mario's referring to here. For me, I wanted a little bit of something more definitive. Yes, we've had conversations. No, they aren't going anywhere, but the conversations have been had. We can't give up hope, guys, but no, it's not on the cards for now. Something like that. Something a bit more. Of course, like, him saying, yes, of course, I'd love to finish the movies. Well, what else is he going to say? Now, well, if he'd have said, well, yeah, I'd love to, but I've actually moved on, it's not going to happen. Something like that. And then everybody moves on. But I've always felt with Zack Snyder that he just needs to be a little bit more definitive. Sometimes I think it's just a little bit unfair, of like teasing and pictures and this and that, and then you get a little bit of something and you think, oh Jesus Christ, is it back on? And then it's not back on, and you've got people grifting on YouTube, pulling you in with headlines that don't mean anything, and there is such a dedicated fan base for this, and I just think, stop playing on our emotions, I think, is the thing. And I don't think Snyder does that on purpose. Although I wish he'd said something, maybe conversations have been had and he can't say anything, or maybe they haven't and he isn't saying. We just don't know. So I think the worst thing about SnyderCon was the grifters beforehand saying that everybody now knows that Cavill was going to be there and he's making a huge announcement. And this is like, it wasn't just one random, we've got this covered article, which is like fan fiction these days. It wasn't. It was all major outlets were reporting that Cavill was going to be there. It was going to be a big announcement. And of course, everybody's thinking, well, there's only one reason why he's going to be there. It's not to talk about fucking Warhammer, is it? And then he didn't show. And then Gal Gadot didn't show. But yeah, Ben Affleck was there. Interesting thing about Ben Affleck was the creator of Deathstroke came out and said that he'd read the screenplay. I think it was Marv Wolfman read the screen. He said, you've got to do this. This is insane. Like, this guy is the perfect Batman. You've got to make this movie. It's like the guy who created the character is enthusing about Affleck's script, bearing in mind, as we well know, that the creators of these characters don't really get anything for their trouble, because the parent company owns the character that you created, because that's the rule. So Marv Wolfman isn't going to make billions of pounds out of Ben Affleck doing a Deathstroke movie. He just thinks it's awesome, and I love that. And we remain hopeful, Mario. But I was a little bit disappointed. Yeah, I was. I thought it was a little bit of a damp squib in the end, and I think I said this last week, didn't I? People were going there, and they were going there for all sorts of reasons. Like, yes, it would have been awesome to sit in the room and listen to Zach talk about them, but nobody was going there really for that. People weren't traveling from London. They wanted to know that their dreams had come true. And why would you do it? And why are you thanking Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca repeatedly? And why is Henry going to be there? And why is Gal coming on her birthday? And why? And of course, none of those things happened. So it was a little bit disappointing. And I think it's a little bit disappointing for me personally, because we still don't know, and you're going to get these people in the movement desperate now for Gunn to fail, like actively wanting, and there are people out there that do that. There are, I'm not going to do that. There is part of the Snyder fandom. They are vehemently against this now, and of course his announcement about Henry, that just they want it to fail. And if they were told it was over, then I think they just all move on. If Snyder turned around and said, "No, it's not happening," then fine. Well, we'll get on it. We'll back James Gunn. We'll do whatever. But so that's why.
Yeah, that's a
I
really
hope
good.
that answers your question, mate.
No, you make a lot of good points with that because even I thought about what I wanted to see and what my expectations were for this event. And as I said, I wanted to see Ray Fisher. His 1/6 scale figure came out, and I
Mhm.
thought to myself, it's a $300 figure. It's expensive. And yet there was so much excitement and hype about the cyborg figure. And I said, if there's this much excitement and hype, he needs to make an appearance. This character was so important in the story. And I was like, I've got to see Ray Fisher. And sure enough, Ray Fisher turns up, making me think, even in my mind, even though nothing has been announced, that there's a chance that Cyborg's coming back. I did think that. I'm not going to lie. Of course, I'm thinking that because it just feels as if there's this potential for it. And a lot of people like what Mario is saying about Zach not giving up. Of course not. Zach's not going to give up on his work. He's not going to do that. He's not going to be like, yeah, well, it can never happen. I think that there are powers that be out of his control from day one that have been altering and affecting his ability to go ahead with things.
It's
So
interesting you say that because he was being interviewed by somebody yesterday or the day before, and he was basically talking about this, and a lot of the I wouldn't even say anti-Snyder, just a lot of the people commentating said, "Look, this is it. This is now definitively him saying that it's over." And literally, the statement wasn't that at all. But he was basically saying in this statement that, "Look, I love those characters, but it's not my universe. These are things that you take out of their box and the toys that you play with, and you try to make something cool, and you hope that people are going to respond to it. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't." And that's sort of been taken as like, well, he's just said it's not my IP. It's nothing I can do with it without their go ahead. But again, we know that we've known that all along. So yeah,
definitely. And hello, Mighty Orbots. Hope you are well. Yeah, so it is something to think about. I mean, I think that it was very interesting. And you guys have had a lot to say about the AI. And I like Justin's channel saying that they always manage to put typos and it ends up being a terrible innuendo typo. Why does it always happen? Excuse me. It's a good question, Justin channel, excuse me. And it happens to all of us, something to think about. But yes, it is something to think about. Of course, Mario talks about Rebel Moon. It's going to be great. Of course it is. And I think,
definitely.
and hello, Wex Wuther. How are you
Hey
today?
Wex.
Wex says DC has tons of animation that could be done in live action. The one where Joker found a jade dragon that was actually kryptonite was epic. Absolutely, Wex Wuther.
I just wanted to ask. It's probably the wrong time to ask now, but apparently Mario says that my sound isn't great.
Is that true?
I don't know. It's what he said.
I
So,
didn't.
dear, thank you. I just wish the sound was better there.
Oh, okay. You
I
sound okay to me.
apologise.
Maybe it went out for a minute, but I could have sworn I heard everything. And Mario, thanks again for the 5.99 euro super chat. I so appreciate it. And guys, remember tomorrow on Monday night, don't forget to join me and Lorena Creole on the Burnettwork at 6 p.m. for Ladies of the PGS. Now, tomorrow night, I also am premiering another show for Catherine Cook. It's called Cat's Corner, guys. Cat's Corner is going to be premiering tomorrow after Ladies of the PGS. Kat is an avid collector and a longtime PGS member. She's a reviewer, pretty much an expert in Star Wars, and much, much more. Kat is going to be premiering this show. It is her show. I'm on the show, but it's really about her collection of physical media. And she has an extensive collection. So please do check it out as she reviews things in her collection. So that happens after Ladies of the PGS tomorrow.
Cool.
Now, with that being said, Russ, was there anything else you wanted to touch on
Fuck
today?
yeah. So, I was listening. Mario clarified his position, by the way. He wasn't talking about me. He was talking about the sound at the SnyderCon itself, which was pretty bad. You couldn't hear what people were asking him, so you only got to hear kind of his responses. And Wex says my microphone is a little bit crackly, but I don't know about that.
This is unfortunately here.
Yeah,
Stubble.
fuck you very much, Stubble. What was I going to say? Yes, so I was perusing the internet and I watched a drinker thing called The Drinker Recommends, which we've all seen, I'm sure.
Sure.
And he did this thing on this movie called Boiling Point with an actor I've met a couple of times, Stephen Graham. He's a Scouser from Liverpool. And I'd heard about this movie, and he's going, "You got to watch it." And I'm like, you know what? All right. So the coronation had finished, and all of that stuff. And I had a period in my day where I said this to you yesterday. I don't want to be on my computer. I basically live in this fucking room staring at this monitor, and I was like, no, not today. I haven't had a great time the past week. So I watched the movie. Bloody hell! What a film!
Wow.
What a film! It's all done in one take, and apparently was all done in one take. Like this is not a fake. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but it sounds like the most ridiculous, asinine, boring thing you could ever want to watch. It's set in a restaurant in England in a kitchen about this head chef and this one night at work. That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you. And the pressure. This is like an action. You're on the edge of your seat. Like it is so tense. It's unbearably tense in places, and like all the things that happen. There's all setups in there that you. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything else. It's like a 90-minute movie. Watch it. Do yourself a favor. It's not superheroes. It's nothing. It's just a British drama set in a kitchen. Unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. So that's one. Second, my girlfriend Annie only ever watches like 3 films, okay? And she just has them on in the background and she doesn't like films. She hardly ever watch. But she phoned me to recommend a movie called The Good Nurse with Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne in it. Apparently, that is an edge of your seat one as well. Apparently, it's for Annie to turn around and say, "I watched this movie, Russ. You've got to watch it. I really loved it. You know me in films. I never." She said I was hooked. So I've yet to watch that one. Something Retro said I want to pick up at the end. And the other thing I watched, which I would thoroughly recommend to those of you that like watching shit movies like I do, and it's a movie that's just come out and it had far too much money spent on it. It was made no sense whatsoever. Everybody was trying real hard in this film, and you can just see them just wanting it to be the best, and it's bollocks. However, it's so entertaining. It's called The Assassin's Club or Assassin's Club. I believe you might have it on Netflix in the United States, and it stars Henry Golding, who's incredibly good looking. It has, oh no, this is terrible. Her name's gone out of my, the girl with the dragon tattoo, Nomi Rapace in it, and Sam Neill. Now that is some cast. But guys, this is a B movie with an over the top budget. This looks like maybe 20 million dollar movie, something like that, whereas these things are normally made for 3 or 5 million. And it has all of the stupid action movie tropes and attempts at one liners that don't really land, and the obvious betrayal setup that you, as soon, and I'm going to go spoilers here because it actually doesn't matter, because as soon as Sam Neill walks in and establishes the father-son relationship with Henry Golding, he might as well have a big blinking sign above him saying he's going to betray you, he's going to betray, and of course, guess what, he does. And what I love about this is that a bit like Guardians of the Galaxy, to go full circle. Oh, see what I did there. To go full circle, it just delivers you exactly what you want. Like, you sit down and you watch this movie and you absolutely know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. And there's something to be said for that. So Assassin's Club, The Good Nurse, Boiling Point, and yeah, Retro says there was trouble behind the scenes at SnyderCon. I know, Retro. Maybe we haven't got time for that on this show. Maybe drop me a line if you got my email address or something. I'd be dead interested to hear or what happened, or RM, if you've got my number, if you want to send it to Retro, so you can send me a text, because I'd love to hear about that.
Absolutely. And guys, Retro Nerd Girl did a fantastic review of SnyderCon on her channel. So guys, do check that out on Retro Nerd Girl's channel. She has a review that she did. I think it was this week. It might be last week, but she did a very detailed review of all the events that happened at SnyderCon. So do check out Retro Nerd Girl's channel and check out her review of the outcome of SnyderCon, everybody. All righty. So with that being said, Justin Channels, I did put in the tip, the Stream Elements tip. Yeah, it did cut off for some reason. So I apologize for that. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Justin. And Russ, with that being said, where can people find you?
Normally here on a Sunday when I'm not late. I apologize, but I had some issues that I had to deal with today. Or you can drop me an email at contact@russellwhitfield.com. But more importantly, where can people find you, RM?
Well, guys, you can always find me here on Positive Fandom, where I do all the parlay of the fandom right here on my channel for Sunday brunch. Also, you can find me on the Burnettwork for the shows that I do, Ladies of the PGS, PGS Treks, Midnight Musings, Cat's Corner Show, as well as PGS Moving Image. And other shows coming up in the future. We also have a Tango Shalom watch party on May 20th on the Burnettwork. You can find me there. I play Star Wars Jedi Survivor every day on this YouTube channel. So guys, if you want to see what the game is like, you can check it out. And I've been enjoying that game. I did play Hogwarts Legacy before that. I will probably go back to Hogwarts Legacy at some time. But on May 23rd, I'm going to start playing Star Trek Resurgence on the Burnettwork and on Positive Fandom. So it'll be streaming on both channels. So if you want to see that game, certainly do tune in for that. Also, you can find me on Lorena Creel's channel. We do a show called Toxic Male Appreciation on Thursdays, as well as other watch parties and events. And finally, you can find me on the 1/6 Scale Man Network for Uncivilized Scoundrels. So please do check that out. And guys, I do want to thank every single one of you for the super chats and super stickers today. It was so generous. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I really appreciate it so much. It means a lot to me, of course, and also hearing everybody's opinions and thoughts here in the chat is so important as well. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to all the links that we put in the chat today for all the creators out there. Make sure you go ahead and do that. Thank you, Justin Channels, and thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tom Jr. Jackson. We are all goof people for moderating today's Sunday brunch. I so appreciate it. And also, guys, remember, you can always find me here and all the other channels that I mentioned, but please do like and subscribe. I'm actually increasing in subscribers, so that's great. But yes, I do need more subscribers, and Russ has gone out of his way to mention that. And the chats are so generous, guys. Thank you so much for everything. So with that being said, I do want to say thanks again. And don't worry, The Hidden, you can never be late for brunch. You can never be late for brunch. Thank you to everybody. And guys, remember, no matter where you are in the galaxy, always remember to please be kind.
Be kind, guys. Drop me a line, Retro. See you later, guys. Thank you so much. Have a brilliant Sunday, and God save the King.